Alrighty, and welcome back to WRP's live play of our D&D Dragonlance campaign. We are playing through Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Oh, very excited. But before we get into that, you may be asking, what is Wildwitch? What is Wildwitch RP? And I'll tell you. Witch RP is me, Faye, your game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We are a couple who love role-playing games and sharing stories with all of you so much that we quit our day jobs and created our own companies. That way we could create high-quality TTRPG experiences full-time. We've been very fortunate along the way to meet many awesome, amazing players who have joined us on our adventure, including the players who are with us tonight. And you can join them in all the fun. To get started playing with us, just join our Discord and website community, where you can sign up for games and meet us and all of our players, talk about your favorite characters and stories, and even roleplay on our forums. We've got tons of games every day, Monday through Saturday, so that way you can play in our Mortal Guardians episodic campaign and fight back against the evil Coven of Zul and their dark masters from the void beyond the stars. Of course, we also offer high-quality custom quests, magic items, our Burning Veil campaign that runs alongside the Mortal Guardians, and lots of other things. So, take a moment during game to join us and introduce yourself. We can't wait to see you at the table. Now, speaking of table, let's get started with tonight's game. We come back to our travelers as you are heading to the Brass Crab here after arriving in Vogler. Your trips somewhere fraught with strange visions. Some were short, but all of you witnessed the strange happenings outside the city of Vogler, the fight with the creatures and the mess that they left of the knights. But besides that, you did arrive to Vogler in one piece. Now, it is, of course, the day of Ispen Greenshield's funeral. It is the eve of the Kingfisher Festival. And, well, there are plenty of things that are happening currently. You have, of course, preparing for the funeral, however that may appear for you each. But you also, of course, have the lovely city and its hospitable inhabitants that seem to welcome you, and including one dwarf named Elamar. So, adventurers, the Brass Crab is ahead of you here in the outskirts of the Vogler Wharf. And the day is yours, at least for now, until dusk falls and the funeral is set to begin. What do you wish to do?
So, I think while we're walking, Rue's gonna kind of sidle up beside Hugh and lean over and start asking him a question. So, what exactly do you humans wear, like, customarily to one of these funerals? I've never been to a human funeral before.
Customarily, your best clothing and something in black. Although I hear in other countries you wear something in white. In other countries than those, you wear something in yellow. But here you wear black.
Interesting. I think yellow sounds fitting. He kind of like nods his head and then turns to Alamar and asks if there's like a clothier or a tailor in town where he could get some more appropriate clothes than the mossy green stuff that he's wearing. That looks like he's from the forest.
As you turn to Alamar, yeah, no, can think of probably, this'll do nicely. I think that will be probably the best place.
Are we going clothes shopping?
I mean, Rue's going to. I don't know about the rest of y'all. He has like nothing.
I mean, I
Well,
know. Sorry.
Hugh is definitely coming with.
I think a lot of Vass's wardrobe just is black. So I think he's probably good. So he might see what amenities are available at the Brass Crab.
Yeah. So,
I mean, probably. I mean, if he was a knight, then I'd probably have to wear my armor or whatever. But he's not. He's an adventurer. So maybe I'll go with him just to see. Victorious. We'll see what she can see.
yeah, easily done. So, do you, stop by the Brass Crab first, about the rooms, or do you want to
Yes.
go? Okay. So,
We should definitely check in.
alrighty.
What's checking in?
Well, I mean, my letter was signed by Becklin, so I'd like to at least let her know that I'm here.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, I'd like to meet this Becklin individual.
So, the Brass Crab, it is a modest inn, only a single story here upon the village wharf. As you are entering in, you see the circular common room. It does have a few tables and an area set aside where there is a bard that is playing, stringing along some notes. I wouldn't say it's particularly a tune. Vassy wince a little bit as you hear this figure play. But yeah, you see there are people here. On the far wall, there is a mural, faded. It's been here for quite some time, of two enormous crabs locked in combat. You see that it is inlaid with brass detailing, and there are people here. Some seem to be out-of-towners. Then there is one figure that stands out amongst all the rest, a older woman. You see the lined face of a well-lived life. Her gray hair is pulled back into a braid, and she wears the armor of the knight, a knight of the crown, knight of the Order of the Crown. So it is likely someone who as you enter in, your eyes fall upon this woman. She moves actually over to you all to. You must be friends of Aspin. I recognize a few of you. As she looks to Vass and then to Victoria from stories that he has told me.
Okay, she's wearing Islamic armor. So Victoria will salute her.
Becklin returns the proper respects, and well, I'm glad to see that you all made it here in time for the ceremonies. Is there anything that can be done or before you are ready? I don't know how far any of you have traveled if you care to rest.
I think we'd like to just, I mean, maybe put our stuff down and look around the town a little. When's the service?
Duskfall. So,
So, how far away is that? Do we know?
you would have about maybe 4 or 5 hours. You've got time. You're arriving here about midday.
Okay, so we have enough time to kind of.
Yeah, you've got time to take in views of the village.
Was there any help you needed? With anything?
No, not quite yet. It would... The only help would be during the service, but it's more a request of Ispin's to share stories of his life rather than tears.
I like the idea of a celebration of life.
Sounds like an honorable service.
Truly. I've settled with Yalme, sorry, that you ought to have one of the available halls. The entire inn has been booked out for travelers coming for Ispin's service.
Thank you.
So, she points off to a direction where you see that there is a doorway, likely leads to this hall that she had been talking of. Heading,
Shall we?
yeah, if you head over, it is a short hallway, doors along each side. You spot 4 of them, and beyond are just very simple rooms. Bed accommodations, a small area for cleaning up, a water station. Just basic areas for you, but enough room for placing down any sort of luggages and armorings, so that anyone can be comfortable during their stay.
Wait, do I even have any stuff, any luggage? Barely. I don't even have clothes in my inventory.
Do you have a backpack?
I do have a backpack.
You can put that could be your luggage to
It's
carry
like a
on.
treasure troll, right? Oh, no clothes, just a backpack.
Backpack that might weigh as much as Rue does.
It's all scaled. That's all. Just downsized to small creature size.
Vass
each
would
get our own
definitely
room.
be interested in going into his room and getting cleaned up, washing off the dust of the
grime.
road.
Yeah. Easily done.
Wait, do we all get our own room?
Yeah, you each get your own room on this hallway.
Okay, so see for a minute when I heard just reserved as a hall or whatever, I was like, oh, we're in like a big.
Yeah, no, you've got... So there's like 4 different halls. You've got 2 very small ones, which is the one that you were on, and then 2 slightly larger ones, but they're all just the rooms that kind of branch out. So this hallway only accommodates for 4 rooms, which you guys get. And then there's another one and 2 more that have a little bit more rooms.
You can see it on the map.
Okay.
Cool.
I love the map.
It's a great map.
Okay, so kind of, I don't know, whenever we decided that we would convene. I think I don't even know what gear. I mean, I know I have stuff. This is like the first character I've made in like 20 years that doesn't have a dagger.
We can change that.
No, I mean, it's just, okay. Huh. Apparently paladins suck. Okay. Wow. All right.
So,
So I guess like she has simple like common clothes. So I guess when we're gonna go do our thing, she'll just be in like street clothes.
yeah. Totally fine.
Rue has like no idea what to do with all this space. So kind of maybe just goes and drops his backpack in the room and just like walks out and just like leaves the door open too. Doesn't even know.
So Hugh has a full survivalist pack, so it's weighs a ton, and he just drops it and stretches out, and you can hear his back popping, and he's ready to go.
Amazing. I can just imagine, like, the bag dropping and immediately Hugh's posture just, like, snaps up.
Oh
So,
my god, he's a foot taller.
but, so, cleaning up, placing things down, those that wish to head out, to, check out the clothing shop, and other portions of the village are able to do so, meeting back up in the main central gathering room. Alamar is still there. He is talking to some of the locals, some of the out-of-towners, just generally being, it seems, his friendly self.
Did Alamar give us the name of the clothing shop? Did you say?
Yes, this'll, so like a thistle flower, this'll do nicely.
It's a little pun.
Oh, it makes complete sense.
Honestly, I thought we were walking past a place and he was just like, "This'll do."
Yeah.
I'm done. That's it.
2 episodes in, that's all it took.
That sounds fantastic. I always love a thistle in the late spring. Just, I don't know, it's so fresh, new.
I don't think it's something you want associated with clothing.
There was a well-dressed group of unicorn knights that had thistles as a symbol.
Sound like some honorable knights then.
Yeah, the Lion Knights beat them up and took their land, so they're not around anymore.
Do all these knights associate themselves with beasts and mythical beasts? Interesting humans.
So, you, of course, after your gatherings, can ask Alamar to take you to the shop, or you can take to wandering the village on your own again. You have hours here that are yours to do with what you will.
Well, if anyone wants to look around.
Well, Hugh's gonna get fitted for clothing, so that's gonna take a while.
And we don't have a map of the town, technically. It's just we as players do, right?
Yeah, you as players have it, but you as characters do not.
I think Rue would walk up to Alamar and try and interject if Alamar's in the middle of something, maybe half butting in, and just say, "Where's this? This'll do nicely. Did we pass it on the way in?"
Oh, not truly, but I can take you there. no issue at all. As he turns back to the conversation, real pleasure talking to you. Give your best to my mother, to your mother. And turns to Yuru. I'm free to take you until preparations for the ceremonies and then tomorrow's festivities. But otherwise, I'm here to help.
Oh, they're having a festival or something, weren't they?
Yeah, the Kingfisher Festival. It's tomorrow. It'll be a blast.
Are you doing the
expected to
funeral
stay for
deliberately
that?
on the same day as the festival?
No, Ishbin wanted it to be done quite in conjunction, so it'll be tonight is Ishbin's funeral, and then tomorrow is the beginning of the festival.
A lot of people in town must have thought very highly of him to make so many accommodations.
He was a good man, especially to Vogler in his last years.
Yeah, I thought maybe they really didn't like him. That's why they're having a festival for his funeral.
Oh, Hugh.
It is easy to get Alamar's aid as he leads you through the town, and it is a pleasant day once more. The weather is mild, and he leads you through the town, out of the wharf, past the village circle, where you can see, of course, the main housings and things like that. But as you pass into some of the market districts, there's if you were just passing by and you didn't take a second look at it, you would think it'd be residential, but it is got a small sign at the top where it seems to be hand painted. This'll do nicely, with all sorts of the thistle flowers along the borders that have been well worn with time. And Alamar goes up to the door and just opens it. And you hear the tinkling of bells upon the door. Entering in, you do see that there is, in the front of the house-like building, all sorts of different dress stands and mannequins that have different pieces pinned, ready to be tailored for any who are interested in them, as well as a stand in the area, in the center area with mirrors that are about it.
Mirrors.
Mm-hmm. And there is the sound of footsteps coming from further inside the building. As Alamar turns to you, don't want to alarm you or anything, but Hope is a little peculiar, but I think you'll be fine given who you've been traveling with. And entering into the room is Hope. Based off the name that Alamar gives you, you see that standing there, she's dressed in autumnal colors, but you see that she has skin and hair both the same milk white, and horns that crawl upwards as a tiefling stands there, a little diminutive. She tries to make herself appear smaller, but
Two in the same week.
Typically, most people don't see more than me. But, sorry.
Wait, did Vass come with us?
Did Vass come with?
I was gonna say he's in the wandering around by himself crew, but I didn't actually say that, so I think he's probably with everyone else.
Yeah.
So he would probably be looking at her a little bit stunned, not expecting to see another tiefling.
So, she looks to you all. Well, I'm Hope. I'm the tailor and seamstress here. Are you looking for repairs or orders?
Well, I mean, I'll be quick. I think Hugh uh, has has plans. I was just hoping you had something maybe done, just like a simple dress or even just a cloak to add to these clothes.
Sure. I've got a few pieces out here in the main hall. You're free to inquire over, but I also have some in this room back here. All the pieces that are on display can be tailored to your fit in very little time.
Okay, Victoria, I'll go and start browsing.
Yep.
Yeah, Rue's kind of like sidetracked, distracted, like poking at some of the mannequins and like pulling on the fabric and stuff like that, just sussing it out.
The mannequins don't move.
Yeah.
Mannequin mimic.
Rue cast detect magic. No, I'm just kidding.
It's everywhere. You're in a realm full of magic. But yeah, no, looking around, there are, again, it's not very extravagant. The most extravagant pieces that you see here are cloaks that have a fur trim along the hem, but it's not fully lined with fur. It's more just simple, durable, though there are some that are a little bit more suitable for a more... I don't want to go as far as formal, but a more... that needs a higher level of wear than just your work clothes and simple day-to-day outfitteries. So, whatever you're looking for in those sort of realms can be found simply.
Is there anything with leather?
The closest thing that she has to anything with leather is a cloak that has a leather hood and over the portion that would cover the shoulders to kind of help keep the face from getting sodden down in if you were out in the rain.
And what color is that cloak? Is it
So the leather is it is black. It is not a deep black, and the actual rest of the cloak is a dark brown.
I think Vass would be drawn to that. How much for the cloak?
That cloak, to be about 1 gold.
I'll take it.
Of course. And she goes to remove it from the mannequin and does a quick fold and presents it to you.
Vass takes it, smiling his toothy grin.
Hope that it keeps you warm.
All right, Rue's gonna walk up to her and just say, so my friend here tells me that I need to wear something to this funeral. That's a fine piece of clothing. Um, it sounds like yellow would be fitting, and I want something with no animal product, so just textiles. Do
Easily
you
done.
have something?
Not quite anything in your size, but if you're looking for a simple piece and not a full outfit, I'm sure that I can get one done for you quite quickly. Here, give me just one moment. Let me see what. And as she goes to move, she stops, turns. What kind of yellow would you be looking for? Do you want something that is more bright or more autumnal?
Definitely autumnal. I'm thinking like a fallen leaf, like our fallen friend.
She gives a soft smile and nod, and I think I have the material. And as she moves back, when she comes back out, it is a very thick fabric with a tight weave. It is very much the color, that soft goldenrod of a fallen leaf in the early portions of fall, before everything turns to those deeper browns and the colors of winter. And it's not overly, it's not very ostentatious in its type. It's a very simple cloth fabric. This is the fabric that I can use. It's suiting.
I'll trust your judgment.
Of course. And what kind of piece would you be looking for? A shirt, vest, trousers?
Yes?
I will work with what I can then, and craft for you a piece that I think would be fitting. Perhaps 2 hours to give me time to craft. I will have to take your measurements, however.
Rue kind of like steals himself. Okay.
So,
You know, I'm tall for my tribe.
I have the utmost assurance that you are. As she gives a warm smile, and she's going to motion you over to the stand area in between the mirrors. Now, if you could just relax your and stand as you would normally, as she goes through the process of using her seamstress's tape to take down all the notes. You see that she has upon her belt and skirts, there is a notepad that she takes all the notes for. And your name, sir?
Rhubarb?
She
B.
writes it down. Thank you. I will make sure that this is ready. Were there any other orders or inquiries?
So Hugh got in a thin board of wood, found a sharp stick and had burned it so it was charcoal, and drawn a sketch on it to show what he wanted. So here we want on a high button jacket up to the chin, and then on the left shoulder there'll be attached a half cloak going over the shoulder this way, and yeah, all materials as dark as you can get them.
Oh,
And he's like annotated measurements.
She looks over. Yes, I could do this. It may be a bit last minute. I believe that I have the capabilities for what you're asking.
Victoria's not going to laugh or anything, but she's definitely smiling when she sees like this, like he's drawn a picture and everything, all of it.
So, and the name, sir.
Hit there.
All right, and she writes it down. taking the sketch drawing and adding it alongside the note she has for Rue. And Victoria, did you find something, or what were you looking?
She seems like she's going to be pretty pressed for time. Hope. So, like just maybe a cloak, a green one, and if they can find, she can find one that has embroidery or fur or something, just to kind of puff up the common clothes just a little bit. That'll be fine with her.
Alrighty. So, as you are looking about, you do find a green cloak. It is not hooded, but it does have a fur trim and lining. And with that,
What's that going to cost her?
as Hope comes over, this one, it's one of our more high up. It's going to be a 1 gold and 5 silver.
Okay. Should dig out the coins.
But you can tell that it has a good it's a well-crafted piece. It should last you for a bit of time, and if you find that you don't wish to wear it further, it is able to be sold your shore at a well price, even used. But you now have a dark green cloak with a fur trim.
Sweet.
So, with your purchases and with the notes that you have left for Hope, she promises that for Rue, yours should be done in about 2 hours, and that Hugh, yours will be ready in about perhaps 4, as she'll be working alongside and doing what she does here. Which gives you time to, again, explore Vogler.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to have to stay. All right. So is this... I was picturing a small town, but I kind of get the impression that it's maybe a little bigger than I thought. How long to kind of like mosey the entire thing?
Depends on your walking pace. It's not terribly large. It's so you've definitely got areas to explore and move about, but it seems that most of the people here are, again, preparing for the different ongoings that are going to be happening here. A lot of preparations for the Kingfisher Festival in the more public areas, as well as, of course, the people that are preparing for the funeral service as well. But it would probably, if you just walked the area and just went through the basic areas, you'd probably be about, I would say, an hour and a half to walk the whole village.
Oh, heck yeah. Who wants to do a little mosey around the village?
I'm down.
Get on, friend.
I suppose.
Sweet. Yeah. So like, I'm thinking like an easy pace, because we don't really have a destination, you know.
My legs can't
Maybe
keep
chat
up
some
even though I'm
people up.
tall.
You're a giant. I'm sure
Some
you won't
say
have a
that.
problem. You know, maybe grab some vendor food as we go, whatever.
Yeah. If
Doing the touristy thing.
yeah. Doing the touristy thing. Walking about, you do of course have there are vendors in the market space, there are stalls of all sorts, fresh river fish, the fishing supplies, crafts, local farm bounties, and all sorts of day-to-day necessities. There is one that kind of catches your eye just because it's a little more odd. There are intricate fishbone puppets of animals and sea serpents that are held up in sorts of different displays.
Oh, that's so creepy.
But
Fascinating.
yeah, there are all sorts of just small produce stands that sell fruit and vegetables. There's fish. You smell as you pass by a tavern. It seems what looks to be a circular figure. It smells of pastry dough in the air, but not sweet like a bakery. It smells like... It almost reminds you of the sea. It's salty. Probably got fish from the river if it's filled with any sorts of meats. But there are...
Is that a boulangerie?
Don't know what that means.
Place for bread.
Should bread smell like fish?
You know, these coastal humans have weird traditions with fish that sometimes I just don't get.
Oh. Well, why don't we ask?
Never can trust a fish.
Oh. Can we go? Yeah, can we go see what the deal is with this place?
The tavern place?
I don't know where this bread fish smell's coming from.
Yeah, the tavern.
Okay.
So, as you enter in, it is very quiet currently. Let's see. There's not many people that are present here. But it doesn't seem empty at all entirely. As you are in this, it is a tavern. But you see that on the menu, it doesn't feature much, but it does have baked goods as what it offers in forms of its eatings here. And there is the tag next to the chalkboard that bears the different menu items. The fish pies, baked fresh daily, and underneath it, written smallly in someone else's hand, multiple times, favorite of the people.
I'll point at the chalkboard. Like, I guess fish pie is what we're smelling. I'm up for sitting down to lunch. Rue. Wouldn't have to have fish pie.
Just like a regular, fruit pie or rhubarb pie. I mean, it's my name. Fish in a pie?
You were named after dessert?
It's named after a plant.
All kinds of uses of the rhubarb plant.
Oh.
Rue would like start rattling off to Hugh like every use that he has ever known for rhubarb plants, like
I
for
feel
like
like they
dyeing things and
start
like
on it. They go on with each other for back and forth for like 2 minutes.
Uh,
Just go full herbology on it.
why don't we make this
it's
fun?
excellent.
Why don't we have a
no.
contested nature roll to see who gets
Yes.
the last fun fact out?
Totally what Rue would want.
Amazing.
Oh,
So it's close. You each match each other 1 for 1
Oh,
up until the very end when Rhubarb gets the fact out that Hugh you were just about to say.
Hugh concedes racistly.
Rue kind of like looks at Hugh with a small glimmer in his eye, and you think you might see like the hint of a little smirkish smile underneath his like wispy beard, but you can't be sure.
Is there any other items indicated on this chalkboard?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of different savory baked goods. It doesn't have anything that's very sweet. So you've got different sorts of meat pies that are all sort of locals. So you've got like pot pies, chicken pot pie. You've got a steamed bun stuffed with quail egg. And it's one of the others, the options here. And mainly it's
you
just
eat that, Rue?
Sometimes. I mean, I eat a fish, just not one stuffed into a pie and baked. That sounds sacrilegious.
Hugh's just gonna go and get the quail egg thing because that sounds awesome.
Um, as you approach the bar to make an order, there's an elderly human there, pot-bellied, lived a very, it seems, well-lived life, who leans against the table, looks over his glasses at you all. So, what will I be getting for you?
Quail egg, s'il vous plaît.
Easily done enough.
Make that 2.
Merci.
The local special, I think.
Rue kind of leans over to Victoria as she's ordering the local special and points at the guy's belly with his staff and just says, "Looks like he's might had one too many of those specials." Just saying.
That's kind of rude, Rue.
It's true.
Pardon him. He's from out of town.
No
That's for
harm.
certain.
Easily enough done. You don't want any ale with it. Wash it down.
Yes.
It'll be...
Do
Right.
you have any barley wine?
But isn't that beer?
Maybe where you come from?
Hmm.
I don't have much, but in the forms of wine, it's nothing quite so herbal. But I do have some... I've got ale. I've got some red wine. Not a lot of white.
Give me an ale.
All right. So it is 1 copper for a tankard of ale. And for the quail egg buns, also a copper. The fish pie is 2.
And how much for a glass of red?
For red, you'll be looking at about 3 copper for that. It's a little bit pricier, but
You know what? I missed the price of the pie and the ale.
2 copper for the pie, 1 copper for the ale.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Rue's just gonna like eat berries and seeds that he has like squirreled away in like one of his pouches on his belt.
What? Okay. All right.
So,
Sure, you don't want to try some of this.
uh, so, um, Elthar gets the items for you, and the as they come out, there is a glisten of the whatever wash they were brushed with before they went in to the ovens, as the different the different baked goods come out. For the 2 quail egg buns, it is a very light and doughy bun, and you have, of course, the quail egg inside. That is, it was first poached and then baked, so it's a burst of flavor, but it's not overly done. It seems that they've worked this down into an art, and well, it's a very different experience than perhaps what you normally get, but it seems to be a great breakfast for any fisher that is on the move. As far as the baked fish pie, it does come out savory. The flakes of the fish are, they're very delicate and well balanced with the different broths that come together in a, it's not quite a paste, but it's the sort of congealing of the different juices of the different. There's the potatoes in the pie as well to help keep some of the stability. Very flaky pie crust, and you wash it down with ale. It is a weak ale. It's not the best that have been had, but it does what you're looking for. Wash down what you drink, what you've eaten. The red wine, full-bodied, a little better, but definitely not the best.
This is really good. You sure you don't want to try some Rue?
Kind of like looks to see if the barkeep isn't looking, and if they're not, then he would agree.
Elthar is wiping down a different portion of the bar, and his attention is not at all upon your group.
You take like a small bite and then just kind of grunt. You can't tell whether that meant it was good or bad. It just was.
All right. So, what do you think about the rest of this afternoon? Should we? I mean, do any of you need to do anything before? Do you have any personal rituals or anything before this? What do we call it? A service? A ceremony?
You've heard both.
I come from, we just bury him in the ground and plant a tree over him. I don't know if they're gonna do that here, but I hope if they do that they got their tree ready.
Ooh, we do that too. I don't know if the humans here did the same.
I don't know where he's from. I imagine his wishes probably would have been something. You know, I was going to say maybe from where he's from, but maybe it's just going to be something that he thought was neat from his travels.
Then maybe they will build a tree, plant a tree on top of him. You know, he learned that from my people.
You would think there'd be more trees in this town if that's what they did.
It is. We did come through a pretty big forest to get here.
Rue's like secretly wondering what graves of dead people from the village years past. But maybe age of the tree growing that they couldn't have all just been planted as graves.
No, I think it's probably
I mean, he could tell.
a natural
right.
forest.
Yeah.
He could tell.
Yeah, he could spot the difference between a bunch of funeral trees and regular trees. I'm announcing it right there. I mean, his society does it.
I want Rue to roll for me a deception check to see if you can convince the others here that you can tell the difference between a funeral tree and a regular tree. I mean, you don't know. He could. He very much is dressed in a very natural way, and he's out here putting his claim that he can do it.
Hard to read those gnomes.
Rue is an enigma.
If that's even his real name.
Vass's head starts to hurt.
So, Vass,
Yeah.
I don't know what your race calls itself.
Oh, I'm a tiefling.
Oh, do you all come from the same place?
Yeah, it's a different plane of existence.
Oh, so
What?
you don't have anything, I was gonna ask if you knew Hope, but I'm starting to realize that would be such a ridiculous question.
Just because we're both tieflings doesn't mean we know each other, okay?
Well, it's just so odd.
I can't argue with that. I wasn't expecting to run into another tiefling in Bogler.
Either works. I'm not going to be super on the place names.
Vogler.
I was gonna say, waiting for like Thresh to chime in with this third pronunciation.
Like maybe they know how you can get back.
Possibly. Might be worth asking Becklin about.
Why wouldn't you just ask Hope?
I mean, yeah, I suppose I could ask Hope too.
I mean,
Don't ask for hope. How will you find it?
do we know what other planes of existence are?
Roll a history or arcana check.
Oh gosh. Oh wait, that's an athletics check, but that's all right. I have +0 on all of them.
Okay. I would say that Hugh, yeah, you've heard of the you've heard of them, different areas, different planes of existence. You don't think it would be too hard to imagine it.
Oh, interesting question. Does Hugh have experience with that other planes of existence?
He would have experience adjacent.
That's what I thought.
You say you're from another plane. Is that like you're from one of the moons? Up in the sky? I've always wondered if there's people up there.
I don't think I came from one of the moons. No. Not unless one of the moons is called Faerun.
Fae- No. At least not in any tongues that I can speak.
So,
This is not my first time leaving my plane of existence. I've been all over the multiverse. Not on purpose. By accident.
So you're a traveler.
In a
Something
manner.
common affliction.
I mean, I wouldn't call it an affliction. I got some pretty awesome song lyrics out of it.
Have you finished the song that you were writing about Ispen?
You know what? I think I finally have it finished.
Can we
Been
hear it?
thinking about potentially playing it at the service.
Oh, sounds fitting.
Or yeah, or after, because aren't they having like were they? Do I remember hearing that they were setting up the Crab Inn for like a party for afterwards or something?
there.
You're daydreaming.
No, I would think that Becklin would have told you that there will be a reception after the fact at the Brass Crab.
Because yeah, didn't she say like sharing stories or something? Did she
Yeah.
mean for after or at the?
She said that specifically during the service was going to there was going to be some sharing stories, but there is also the reception afterwards, so
Oh, okay.
likely there will be more as well.
Yeah, Vass would play at the reception. He wouldn't he wouldn't just butt in and, start strumming a tune in the middle of the service.
You could play it at both.
Maximize the view count.
Yeah, there might not
Yeah.
be enough people at the service. Or they
Yeah,
might hear
I
it
mean-
again.
I'm glad to hear you like it, that you want to hear it multiple more times.
Have I heard it already?
I was playing it like all day yesterday while we were traveling.
Oh,
Rue
that's
heard
the,
it like nonstop on the
that's-
road before he met
Yeah.
Victoria.
Victoria like tries not to flinch, but she kind of does flinch. Like, oh, I didn't realize.
I was working the kinks out yesterday.
Okay. No, it's great. People will love it.
Thanks.
Or she'll like look at the others and just kind of mouth like, I'm sorry.
Vass is oblivious to any of that happening.
Amazing. So, do you seek out anything else?
Okay. I feel kind of stupid, guys. I might get in trouble for this actually, but maybe we should have mentioned to the knight. And I, as a player, I blame this totally on the gap between sessions because last session I was like, the first thing I got to do when I get to town is report on the dead knights and weird dragon beasts. And today I'm like, let's buy clothing.
Mission accomplished.
So Victoria's gonna get like an oh shit look on her face, and they're like, we didn't mention that ambush.
I mean, I asked the guard about the figures out in the forest around, and they seem kind of oblivious to it.
Okay, but and I mean maybe this is more on me, but members of my order were ambushed and killed, and we fought these weird creatures no one's heard of, and we have like notes from the knights that they were supposed to look around and chase rumors of these things. So I feel like maybe, at the very least, I made a big mistake when I met Becklin.
We should check with the burgomaster,
Who? What?
the leader of the town.
Did we meet a leader of the town?
You have not.
I
Well,
just
I'm
assuming that
kind of
there is a
assuming it's
leader of the
Becklin.
town.
There is.
Towns usually have leaders.
That would be the mayor.
Well, this town has a mayor that's not a leader, that's the knight.
Yeah, no. Becklin is
Oh.
here as the she is in the she's Castellan of Thornwall Keep in Vogler. But Vogler itself.
Keep here?
Yeah, you passed it when you walked in. It's on the map. It kind of looks a little run down.
Oh.
And but she's Castellan. The mayor you have is Mayor Raven Vogler.
Does that mean like a family line of whoever started this town or something?
So I want to say that it's basically Uth is of, so it would be Raven of Vogler. So
Okay, guys, I really need to get back and make this report.
You need to go talk to your tribe.
No. The order.
Oh.
I'm not a barbarian.
Hey,
You're kinda
maybe
like-
you just forgotten your grief.
I'm not gonna lie either. Certainly distracted, but it's not an excuse. Are you, I guess, we'll meet up later, or?
I'll come with. The word of 2 warriors will be worth more than 1.
Okay, Tori's gonna pause a minute and sort of eye him for a moment and then decide that he probably wasn't trying to insult her. But it's gonna take her a minute of thinking about it to make that decision.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. Okay. Are we going to meet up later, or at the service, or what? We'll say that to the other two.
I mean, I need to go back and get my outfit from This'll Do Nicely in shortly. I mean, I assume we've been wandering around a little bit of time, and then we're talking, and then I have to wander back at some point.
Yeah, we had lunch.
I would say that it's getting close to the time for you to head back to get your custom piece, Rue. So, that'll be Rue heading off to the store to pick up from Hope. And
Rue would invite Vass to go too, since Vass looks like Hope. But not say it like that. Just kind of.
Well, Vass would have been just assuming he was gonna go with Rue anyway because he had a brainwave. I.e., someone mentioned, hey, maybe Hope knows how to get back to, Faerun. So
You have a convenient excuse to get back to
I do.
talk to Hope.
Yeah.
How
So,
old is Hope?
you don't know. You didn't ask.
But like, does she look like she's around the same age as Vass, or does she look like she's an older lady?
She didn't have wrinkles, but all of her coloration was sapped. She very much she had white irises, white hair, white horns, white skin. It was all sorts. The only color that she had was her clothes, which she tried to do a lot of like. She tried to bring in color to her complexions.
Are there albino tieflings?
Roll
No.
a history check.
Oh God, we all know how good Vass is at his history check.
He should know history. Doesn't he sing about history and stuff?
His own.
Uh,
Selfish history.
History
it's
checks are for things knowledge that's correct.
Vass, you've never encountered one before. Could exist. You don't know. You don't see why it wouldn't.
Vass may never know because he's not rude enough to ask, "Hey, are you albino?"
But yeah, no, easy enough. So Ruin Vash, we'll head with you, and then we will pick up with Hugh and Victoria. So, as your two groups sort of part here in Vogler, to take care of the things that you need to take care of, Rue and Vash find yourselves returning back to This'll Do Nicely. The small storefront opens the door. It's still daylight. The storefront is, of course, still active and open. The little bells jingle as you enter in, and you hear the footsteps. A lot less of them, a lot closer, as from her workroom, Hope steps out. Oh, it is good to have you back, Rubov, and your companion as well. I do have your piece ready for you. She moves back into her workshop before she brings back out. It is a vest, not quite as fitted and structured as a doublet, but you see that it is made of that same the fabric that she had showed you. It is cut with a straight shoulder that just goes out a little bit past the normal shoulders to give some structure and architecture, a little design flair, but otherwise very simple piece. Instead of buttons, it has a very light wooden toggle to kind of help play off of the colors that you have, and the sort of woodland aesthetics, and she presents it. Would this be fitting?
Aye. This looks perfect.
2 gold for the crafts.
2 gold?
2 gold.
Rue like fumbles with the gold coins, like, and just like hands her 2.
Yeah, she takes it, and again, you have now your piece.
Thank you. Rue
So
kind of like,
while
yeah,
Rhubarb
let's say
is
like
trying on, oh
just
sorry,
pass.
So, Vass, you were saying?
while Rue is trying on his new duds, he would try and maybe pull Hope off to the side and chat for a minute.
Yeah, easily done. Were
So
you wondering for custom works as well, or?
No, I just apologies, but I didn't expect to run into another tiefling here.
No, you're quite right. people of our lineage are quite rare upon Kryn, but we're not entirely unheard of.
Yeah, I kinda arrived here by accident.
Her face kind of pulls in confusion. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand.
It's a little bit of a long story, but I kind of fell into a portal that took me here. And I'm trying to find a way to get back home.
Well, I'm unfortunately probably not the person to be able to help you. I'm but a tailor, a seamstress. I was born here in Crane. My family comes from a line of merchants, more traveling salespeople, though I prefer the solitary area. And Vogler is very kind, especially to people that aren't quite the norm. But the best that I could tell you is perhaps to find some notoriety amongst the high order, perhaps the mages, or if you work through some people, especially a lot of the locals here, don't care much for the Knights of Solamnia. Becklin is, of course, a little different, but just
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call in a pretty big favor.
it would definitely, with what you're sounding, sounds like a large task, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm able to assist with it.
Oh well, thanks for the tip.
If you need anything otherwise, such as someone to talk to, I understand a little bit of how it could be out of place. But otherwise, I think Vogler is a great place to be. Again, people here are very friendly, and tomorrow is the Kingfisher Festival. It's a wonderful experience.
Well, thank you very much. And then I think Vass would sidle over to Rue and be like, "So how are you liking the new duds?"
Am I trying them on? Or
I
is that,
mean,
I guess it's up to me.
yeah, that's up to you, Rue. Did you put on your new vest?
I think he actually probably save it and would just kind of like make himself scarce. But when he overheard the Kingfisher Festival, he's gonna like chime in as they're finishing and be like, "Are they gonna have more of those weird fish pie things there?"
Yes, we'll have fish pie, as well as all other sorts of delicious foods.
Everywhere's got their odd traditions.
As Rue and Vash finish your errand, Hugh, Victoria, where do you find yourselves?
I think Victoria would be assuming that Becklin might still be at the inn, and otherwise, the papers or whatever that we alluded from the knights, I guess, would be with her stuff. So she's gonna go there and grab those at the very least, and see if Becklin's there.
Yeah, returning to the brass crab, usually enough to grab the items that you're looking for from your stuff. But Becklin is still present. People are still kind of travelers making their way in. But she's here.
Okay, so I just forgot my character name. Victoria will like purposefully stride over, and because she's so pale, like you can see like bright spots of red on her cheek from embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be like, Becklin, I think I made a pretty big mistake. I'm not quite sure why we didn't mention it. But she'll hold out the papers. On our way, I guess maybe a day out of the village, we caught the tail end of an ambush on a group of Islamic knights by these creatures. None of us could identify. That all the knights were killed, and we slew some of the creatures, and the others ran off. But it seems like from their notes or orders that the knights had still on them, that they were looking for rumors of these creatures or something. I don't know.
As you provide this information to Becklin, this is troublesome indeed. She looks
Have you
over.
heard of these things?
I've not. My posting has been here and steady for quite some time.
Or large, scaly, and unnatural.
Yeah, they were like dragon men.
This is... It is something we need to keep an eye out for. But, I'm going to ask of you to keep this quiet, at least for now. I do not want any more stress brought to the people of Vogler. But, Steve, please, keep alert.
Is that an odd request, or is that something that you could, like, Victoria would have expected?
If you would like to roll an insight check.
I wouldn't like to, but I will. Ooh, yeah, okay.
It doesn't seem very odd. There's a lot that is happening right now with the funeral ceremony and then the very large kingfisher, which is an annual tradition that's been going on since the founding of Vogler. It doesn't seem out of place for the for her as Castellan to ask to keep things from overwhelming the populace, because while these rumors and the threat are very real, a widespread panic could make things more volatile, which is what she's trying to avoid. She wants time to analyze things and prepare and make sure that with the information that you provide, that she's able to put things in the best positioning. So.
Okay. All right. So Victoria will just nod her agreement to the request.
Hugh disagrees with this entire strategy, but doesn't feel in a position to voice the concerns.
Understandable. Well, is there anything else that I can do for you?
I'd understand if you wanted to include that as a mark on my record.
She looks to you, and then you can see that there is a soft smile. I don't think that will be necessary. It is honorable work that you are doing. But I think that my time here in Vogler has shown me that well, it is good to keep to traditions and to our practices, that holding yourself to an impossible rigidness will cause you to break more than bend.
I'll have to think on that. But then Victoria will will nod again and kind of look at Hugh like, "Yes, I guess we're done."
Okay.
Hugh, as the day progresses, it does come time for you to go and back to the shop and pick up
Okay.
your requested piece.
After they leave the knight, but before he leaves Victoria, he says his parting, "How like a knight of Solamia to blind yourself in the forest and call it protection." And then he flips his hair and he walks off to get close.
Okay, I kind of missed what you said.
How like a knight of Solamia to blind yourself in the forest and call it protection.
So,
Okay, it's an odd view, but Victoria won't take him up on the argument.
Oh well. I have a
as
cloak to try out.
More than that.
as you return to This'll Do Nicely, again, it's getting close to the time that the funeral is to proceed. Sun is starting to set, sinking lower in the sky, but as you enter in, you do see that Hope is finishing out what looks to be a receipt book as she looks up and, oh, you're here. I do have your piece ready. As she moves back, will come from the back room, just pulling the dress form and mannequin. You see that it has wheels upon it, and there it is. Your sketch brought to life. And it is dark blues and blacks, and you have the button adornments all about. It seems everything you asked for.
And how close is it to what I was asking for?
It's fairly close. It's not the exact duplicate, but it's likely what you would expect. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 on a recreation, it's about an 8.5.
Fine work. On such circumstances.
Yes, well, I do pride myself with years of experience. But feel free to try it on. Make sure that everything fits accordingly. I can make for any small adjustments if necessary.
Okay. So Hugh tries on the jacket and flips the cloak over his shoulder. Okay. Then he checks himself in the mirror, but doing a little spin. It all looks in order.
Yes,
Now,
it would be on the order of 3 gold for the amount of work that you had asked for. But otherwise, everything is set to order.
Hugh already had it prepared in the pouch and hands it over.
Thank you very much, sir.
Then,
So, with that, you are able to head off. And all of you gather off to the brass crab as the figures gather to attend to the Just
I think
seeing off
Victoria's
Becklin. Oh, go.
feeling kind of a little. She's chastising herself a little for this grievous error, so she's going to end up wearing her armor. She'll add the cloak to it, and not the spear, but the shield and her sword and her armor for the service. She's kind of kicking herself for being distracted from duty.
Yeah. As you will move, dusk begins to fall and Scienscape does too. Let me get it back up here real quick. At the breast crab, you see that people are gathering at the docks, and some of the locals actually take to small fishing crafts and assemble in the nearby waters. Becklin, of course, urges you all to stay at the dock. She takes the stage next to a simple boat, and those that, were the closest to Ispin, you gather here upon the dock as you overlook the Vingard River. Ispin's body rests within a small boat, wrapped in a shroud. There is a musician that plays a soft song as the knight Becklin Ulfaharin steps forward in her full ornate Solomnic armor. As she smiles to you all, and then to the rest, her voice carries clearly over the waters. You all knew Ispin as a friend, and there were none like him. Before he died, he told me this. There should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of them all. As Becklin nods, there are a few villagers that carry the boat that contains Ispin's body to the dock's edge. And it is here that she and Cudgel lower it into the water. So let us do just that, as the tiny vessel hits and then begins to drift down and away. On the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, my friend, until we meet again. You stay until the boat that bears Ispin's body drifts gently until it is disappearing from sight. The music continues to play softly in the background. You hear there are a few mournful and muffled tears, but after a beat of that silence, Becklin turns to you all. Let us return to the Brass Crab and partake in those tales, as well as some drinks and other revelries, in honor of Ispin.
Yes.
Indeed.
That was a nice, quick service.
Yeah, no, very quick. The reception that happens at the Brass Crab is simple but crowded. Many people seem to have experienced Ispin's friendship through his life, especially here in Vogler. Yalme, the Brass Crab's proprietor, is very busy coming and making sure that everyone is well provided with bread, cheese, and local ales for all that are attending here. You see faces that you recognize. Hope is present. So is Alamar and other figures. There are many that you haven't seen before, but there are people, and each seems to be reminiscing at this moment.
Yeah, Victoria will like listen. She's not huge on getting into herself too much when they're talking, but she's all for like hearing stories, whispering and things.
Let's get some.
Is that bard that was playing in here before still playing in here?
Competition.
Let's roll and find out.
Muscling in on your turf.
If he is, Bass is judging him hella hard. Him or her.
That bard is not present currently. I mean, he's present, but he's not playing. But no, as you guys look about, and if any of you wish to mingle, it's easily done so. But at one point, fairly soon after, it seems most all the figures are gathered here, Becklin calls for everyone's attention. I know that we all called Ispin friend, but as he asked, we should be telling tales, not shedding tears in his memory. I think let us start that off, and I will share one of the stories I knew brought him great joy. It was not too long after his youth had left him when the high sub-senior artillerist of Mount Nevermind had called for Ispin directly. I was honored to be at his side when we traveled there, if only to hear such the request. Not that I knew it ahead of time. Well, if any of you knew Ispin, you'll likely have heard this story many times before, but it seemed that the sub-senior artillerist had launched her pet weasel all the way from the Enclave to San Crist Island. Ispin was then called forward to recover the critter, or at the very least to note its trajectory. And you hear a chuckle that kind of goes through the crowd.
Yes.
And she, as she goes through the story, she does welcome for others, including you all, to step forward and to bring any of your own stories that you might have had that share the wild tales Ishbin lived through.
I totally riff off of that one and hijack it a little bit.
Go for it.
I would just imagine that is how like Rue was introduced to Ispin. That Rue was out in the forest like one afternoon or evening, and he heard like the chirping of an animal kind of crying out for help from like the top of a tree. And when he went to investigate, he saw a weasel up there. And shortly afterward, some young, spry human came by looking for this weasel and climbed up into the tree, determined to get it back. But as he did, he stepped out onto a branch that couldn't hold his weight, and he started to fall. And Rue used his abilities to stop Ispin from falling to his death. And that's how he met Ispin.
Speaking of Ispin's incompetence in trees, he goes so tired of my complaining of the racket he made in the forest that he ended up cutting off his cloak and putting him on his mail-clad boots to muffle them. It didn't do much. He didn't really understand how it worked.
More chuckles throughout the area.
Definitely hear him coming a mile away, even if he didn't think so.
Well, he saved my father from. This was before I was born. The reports or the stories that I've heard were that my mother had bewitched or cursed my father, and when he was on a campaign, some of his knights met Ispin, and Ispin and the knights were able to release my father from this curse, and they raced back and excised her from the keep. So it's the full telling of the story is pretty heroic.
At that, you hear. Oh, we've heard this 1,000 times.
Oh my god, who's that?
Looking back, you see that there is a young nobleman that is very much sitting by himself. He's golden hair, bit coiffed, but, he's wearing fineries, but does not seem to be well cared for, and doesn't seem to be quite so impressed with the storytelling that's going on here.
I don't recall hearing you sharing a tale.
Because I'm not partaking in any of this foolishness. I'm here because the ale is free, and, well, I can see why that is. As he takes another swig and pulls a face. Absolutely the worst I've ever tasted.
Well, if you don't mind, this is friends of Ispin celebrating his passing and not an open door for the local church. And she kind of peter out because she's realizing she doesn't know who this guy is.
I suggest you find your manners, brigand.
He lifts his chin. No one here in Volbla can take a joke, as he steps up from his table and makes his way out.
Your outfit's a joke.
He doesn't turn back, but you can hear the huff as he just storms out a little bit.
As he's leaving, I call out, "Their colors! Learn to coordinate!"
Is it you wearing all black?
Yes.
Okay.
This is black and blue. It's all very, very... It's somber and stylish.
So,
Rue would probably lean to the closest person near him that's not one of our party and say, "Who was that?"
as you lean in to one of the locals, oh, that is Baccharis the Younger. He's about as bad as his father is.
Runs in the family. Seen it a million times.
If you just keep away from the West Side House and all those over there, then you'll be, well, you likely won't run into either of the Baccharises, so.
Good to know. Definitely don't like his kind, and I don't even know him. What's their station in this city, though? Like, what gives him the right to come into this ceremony and just talk like that?
Well, it's not so much station in this village, but Lord Baccharis, who says that his father, well, he's noble, and they've got a the West Side House. They are they're here in exile. Raiders burned down the family home in Esterwild, is what they're saying.
They burned down their own house?
No, raiders burned down the Esterwild house, and they're
I thought
here.
you said they were raiders. I got
No,
it. Any rumors about what these raiders may have been like? Like, what clan or tribe they hail from?
I wouldn't know, but if you're curious, you could head over to the to West Side and ask Lord Baccharis, though I don't know if he'd be quite so willing to give you answers. Again, you've just met his son, and we all see how that went, and he takes a swig of his ale.
Not at the top of my list. Well, to Ispin, and Rue will just like take a swig of his ale too.
At this point, you hear a chair being drug across the ground over to your table as a figure takes her seat. You see that there is a hill dwarf that you had seen next to Declan during the ceremony, leading or helping to lower down Ishpin's body. Well, good to see some unfamiliar faces. Care to share any stories?
What did she say?
She said it's good to see unfamiliar faces. Do you care to share any stories?
Oh,
So,
not much of a storyteller.
so I think Vass would try to reclaim the vibe that was happening before.
Uh-huh.
And he would stand and hold his lute and say, well, that guy was as unpleasant on the ears as his outfit was on the eyes. Perhaps this will be a bit more pleasant. And then he will play the Ballad of Vass and Ispin.
All right. Hell yeah. Go ahead, give me a performance check. And I'll say that you get a +2 because you were practicing it all day yesterday.
All right, I'm burning my inspiration on this.
Okay.
That would be a
Hey.
24.
24, hell yeah. So very much the mood is reset as you take your lute and you begin to play and sing this tale as you, again, practiced all day yesterday up until that one portion with the, with the ruined ambush, but otherwise, it seems to go over well. People, by the end, seem to catch on to your refrain and join into the song, and there is a cheer throughout, and you hear, Tispin!
Excellent.
So,
The finished product sounds much better.
quite the story there. Apologies. Name's Cudgel. Cudgel Ironsmile.
Oh, Victoria, Ironhold. And Victoria will look expectantly at the others. I'm not going to presume to introduce them.
Oh. Rhubarb. No iron in my name.
As I mentioned in the song, my name's Vass.
She kind
I
of...
imagine it's in the song like 40 times.
Well, good to see that's an original work.
And all of it's true.
Is yeah. Can I like tell if it's true or not?
Insight check.
I'm like me.
There's been some embellishments to make for a better lyric, but otherwise it seems well enough.
I mean, I've been around a long time, Sonny. I've seen my share of things. But it holds up.
So, I see that most of you have told me a little bit about yourselves indirectly. I've been listening to the stories shared. But well, it's good to see that you all came out for Ispin. Don't really have much to share with the locals, and she kind of looks over her shoulder. But it was. Go ahead, Victoria.
How did you know him?
It was me, Becklin, and Ispin along the road most of the time. We traveled
Oh,
together.
is this something we knew?
Yeah, you knew that he traveled with, like, there
Oh.
were very many stories of Cudgel and Becklin and Ishbin. This is the first time you're meeting Cudgel, but you
Oh.
have heard her name alongside with Ishbin and Becklin in
Oh,
stories.
you're that Cudgel.
The very same, though. I'm hardly known for my adventuring these days. Now I've got my own mercenary company. If you ever need us, Ironclad Regiment, we're out there for you.
Victoria will frown slightly. Mercenaries.
how is that noble trade these days?
Well, ours is small, but a well reputation for beating odds. And, well, we're making do enough.
If you keep beating the odds, then the odds weren't set properly in the first place.
I like to think that I'm keep beating the odds because I'm able to see how they are set and change them to suit my needs.
Did you? Where? I mean, just seems to me from stories I've heard that if you're leading a mercenary group, probably wouldn't want to leave them alone. You might come back and find you're not the leader anymore.
Well, they're not too far. As she takes a drink of her ale, I do have to head back. We're just outside of Vogler, but I'll see you tomorrow if you're partaking in the festival. Me and my men are going to be partaking in the recreation of the Battle of High Hill.
Oh, what's that?
Have we heard of this before?
If you are particularly invested in the history of the local area, you can roll a history check.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I believe, because it is in her neck of the woods growing up, kind of. But there's nothing there.
No. Not quite sure of what it is, but as you ask Cudgel, it's something that they put on every year, but since we were here for Ishbin, I thought that my troop could help them out. It poses a bit of a more believable opposing side, but it's all in good fun and to teach the history and celebrate the beginnings of Vogler. I'm sure that the mayor has got some big speech planned for it tomorrow. I don't want to ruin all the fun, but I believe that volunteers are able to partake in the battle, and it's all meant to be a good time rather than any sort of true fight to the death.
Well, recreation, jeez. I guess it's both.
It is technically both, probably.
A recreational recreation.
How many more variations can we put on that word?
I guess we'll, at the very least, I'd like to watch it. So it's just part of the festival, right?
Yeah, it's all part of the festival, but I would recommend that if you're partaking that you don't eat any of the fish pies ahead of time. Horrible on a full stomach, but if you're going to be watching, Vogler has the best fish pies I've ever had, so if you're going to get any.
I tried it. It was really good.
So.
Is there food here?
It's just bread, meat, cheeses. It's not very much. The Brass Crab isn't like a inn and tavern. It's just an inn. But we've got there's a few things. And as you kind of look around, and Yalme is kind of coming around, making sure each table has things. You do see that along the fringes, there is a A very somber guest. You see a Sylvanesti elf with blue skin that just kind of looks over. She has an air of melancholy about her.
Are blue-skinned elves same?
Well, I just told you that they are.
Yeah. Just like white tieflings, right?
It's a joke. Okay. I'm
Has
not
this
particularly
elf
impressed with
been?
elves, so.
Yeah, has this elf been there like the whole time and that we've noticed?
Yeah, you've seen her in passing before, but it's like as you look over this time that she seems to be just kind of jumping out at you.
Did she happen to tell any tales when we were recounting?
She hasn't told any tales, but I mean, she's still here, so you could always ask.
1 second. Are the Sylvanesti the ones that are near my island? I need the map.
Don't we all?
We'll find it.
Just remember, a map's not the territory.
True. Yeah, I do not think. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Rue's kind of mildly curious because there have been more elves showing up near his homeland recently, especially he would have encountered some on his way from Sandcrest over to Calamon, I guess, over to Solamnia.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if like things are like just kind of quiet at the table, he might actually go over and start talking to the elf. Let's just say, a long way from home.
As she kind of turns her attention to you. In ways, yes.
As am I. Did you know Ispin well?
Well enough. I'm unsure if he recalled who I was in his many years, but he came through and told me his travels. And, well, they were quite inspiring. I doubt the stories that I could tell and weave would be half as exciting as the ones he's been lived.
I think there's interesting facts and knowledge in most stories those have to tell, as long as you're willing to listen and hear what they have to say.
Yes.
Would you happen to be from west of here? Like far west?
I've been, it seems, all over this realm in my years. Home is never quite where I expect it to be. And always seems to be just out of reach.
All kind of like tracks with some of the rumors that Rue has heard from like his hometown and stuff like that about some of the elves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is this your home now, or are you just passing through?
It is not home, but it's where I've been called. The winds of change and fate have brought me here.
To do what? Rue's like kind of confused.
I
It's like
wouldn't.
thinking more about like moons than winds.
Yeah. Well, for now, it is to mourn one more lost life.
Well, I follow the moons, and they bring me here for a similar reason. So well met.
Well met.
Is this elf sitting down, I hope?
Uh,
I'm like trying to visualize this.
no, she would have been standing towards the fringes, so she is not sitting.
So we're just like looking up at her the whole time.
Yeah. Or looking away to the rest of the crowd, but yes, if you're looking at her, you are looking up.
Got it. Check that.
You should have brought a stool over with you.
That would have been awkward.
Rue's gonna get magic shoes that just automatically, like with a click of the heels, like eye level with whoever you're traveling with.
That would be like amazing at like intimidation, I would imagine. Just like creeping people out.
Like a knockoff Boots of Flying.
Right, but it's boots of like stilts. Like it just you've got like the collapsible stabs in the sole, so that way it's like you set them off and it's like whoop.
I mean, we could get him some moon shoes. He'd like that. Moon, right?
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say those like stilt shoes almost sound like something that would come from like the Tinker Gnomes over in like Mount Nevermind.
Oh, 100%. It's what they use.
Yeah. But yeah, moon shoes. There you go. I don't know if I like know what else to say to the elf. I don't know if I really want to like talk like total business to her at this event.
Well, you just invite her back to your room for a more private conversation.
Why would I do a thing like that?
No Ira would do that.
If you don't, you do not have to continue conversating with the elf if you do not wish to.
I think like Rue would still like stand next to her, and it wouldn't even be like awkwardly. It'd just be kind of like when Rue met Vath like a day or two ago, and just like walked down the road with Vass and like didn't really say much. It's just
Yeah.
like it's just there, it's just present.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you seek out a conversation with the elven woman?
No, not Victoria.
And Rue, she would politely excuse herself shortly after your conversation, as she will retire from the reception to her own room here within the inn.
Rue would still just like stand where he was.
Yep, easily done. Do any of you interact with any of the other locals that are present?
Yeah, things kind of break up a little. Like Victoria, she's not drinking, but she'll kind of go and mingle around.
Yeah. Easily able to mingle around, and there is plenty of people here. Like I said before, Alamar is present. Hope here. There is the proprietor of the Brass Crab, Yalme. All sorts of people.
Excuse me, have you accepted the Lord and Savior Paladin into your life?
Let's start off with the brochures.
Yeah. I'll just, if people are telling tales like Espen and that, should just absorb them and be pleasant and polite.
Yeah. As you mingle around, and the politeness is returned to you like fivefold. The people here they're very accommodating. You even
It's a little surprising to Victoria.
Yeah, it seems that they're used to this, and one of the figures, a young tender gentleman, you got the face that everyone gets. Not everyone in this world is out to do any sort of harm. In Volga, we want to make sure that people know that they're cared for.
I I appreciate that very much. It's a great thing to see a town embrace that philosophy.
Well, we're very close to the waters, and when the river floods or if it's too rough, people lose things, important things. But not everybody, and we all come together to make sure that those that are missing, they don't go without. And when you help out your neighbor, they can help you in return. And most people of the town do. The only ones that seem to have missed the message are those with Estilt.
What was that last thing he said?
Most of the people here know what about helping your neighbors. The only ones to have seemed
Right.
to miss it were the with Estild, which is Bakaris, and his father. That was
Oh,
the gentleman from before.
yeah. Are they from here?
No, not that I'm aware of. They they came in about a year or so ago. It's hard to remember for sure. But I've been a mess of trouble.
No. Well, at least it helps contrast how good your people are.
But people, as the hours go by, do begin to head off. Calls of good nights and of see you in the mornings as people head out to get rest before the Kingfisher Festival. As you are some of the last people in the common room, as your rooms are here within the inn, Becklin does make her way over to your table. Once more, I do wish to thank you for your appearance and for your stories in all their forms. And she sends a smile over to Bass.
Bass returns a very toothy smile.
But I do wish to impart with you. Isbin has entrusted to me a gift for you all that he left. I will ask that you call upon me at Thornwall Keep come morning, and I will have it ready for you.
Oh. Oh. Okay. First thing?
Whenever it is you are comfortable. Tomorrow is a festival day, after all.
What time does the recreation happen?
I believe that the festival will be in full swing come midday.
Oh. I think we'll try and come by before then.
She gives you all a nod and wishes a well rest before she heads off, likely to Thornwall Keep.
Sweet.
But soon enough, the only people that are left in the inn are those that will be using its rooms. You seek out any interactions amongst yourselves before you break off for your rests.
I forgot to mention this earlier. Victoria will lean in a little closer to the others. Becklin asked that we not mention yet about our encounter with those things.
Bass looks a little deflated because he was already partway through composing a ballad about it.
Well, I mean, a bard song think most people might think it was just fanciful, right?
You know, names and places were changed to protect the guilty.
So couldn't really be a problem.
Any resemblance to any person's real or is just strictly coincidence.
I mean, the rumors of those creatures are already on the air. We've heard them back where I come from.
What? You didn't? I thought you said you'd never heard of these things.
I've heard of cloaked raiders. I've not heard of these things.
Well, everywhere has cloaked raiders.
Wait, actually, I think my rumor was for the lizard things. Give me a second. Hold on.
I think I've got your rumor right here.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. It was lizard folk raiders.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's probably something you could have mentioned. I already put my foot in it enough, forgetting to tell her when we first got here.
What am I supposed to do? Come into this town and just say, hey, I hear rumors of cloaked lizard folk raiders. Do you have those rumors too?
Well, it's rumors are kind of one thing, but then when you encounter them, maybe sharing other information you might have might be good.
I have no information. I'm here seeking information.
Didn't you just say they were in the east or something?
The
No.
rumors are.
Or right.
East, west, north, here. I think people should be told. It is a foolish leader who fears the fear of the people. Fear is the goad to action, to alertness, to preparedness.
Don't you live in
They're
the woods?
afraid that if they're afraid, they'll be on their guard. If they are ignorant, they'll be easy prey.
She didn't say she wasn't going to tell them. She just said let them deal with the funeral and maybe their festival. And I would take her word in leading people over yours.
Be that as this may, this will all end in tears. Mark my words.
Is there anything else you discuss before your evenings come to a close?
No?
Then each of you are able to return to the rooms that you had picked out earlier. Rue, your door has been shut, but as you open it once more, none of your things have been taken.
I do not have.
But each of you are able to head down, prepare for bed. Do any of you do anything particularly special this evening?
See, you asked that like someone should be doing something special, and that just worries me.
No, I'm just
Oh,
asking if there's anything different. You just had a funeral. I'm just asking if there's anything you do this evening that would differ from your normal. Because if so, I would like to shine a little spotlight on that.
Well, I mean, Vass is you know, in a place with some creature comforts. So I think he is definitely going to have an elaborate hair routine.
Easily enough done.
He is going to try and pamper himself as much as possible while he can.
All right. It's a very low level of pamper, but it is much higher level than what you normally are able to get them on the road. So
Some pampering is better than no pampering.
100%.
I think that Victoria kind of working out recent events. Maybe she'll attempt like just like a little prayer of safe passage or something to Paladine for it's been. She's not really down on the whole prayer thing, so, but she's trying it on.
Yeah. I mean, that vision is the closest thing that you can say your experience is still fairly recent in your mind. So,
Hugh contemplates putting a trap on the door, but then concludes most likely it would injure a random barmaid, so
So you
not worth the
expecting
trouble.
random barmaids to
I was-
wander into his room?
housekeeping.
And I think that Rue would actually maybe walk back outside and see if like he can see one or multiple of the moons in the night sky.
I was supposed to do the moon thing, wasn't I?
It's all right.
I would say that you could see. I would say that you could see two of the moons. You could see Solinari and Lunatari.
That's the white and the red, right?
Yes.
No. Solinari and Lunatari?
Yeah. So white and
Yeah,
red.
okay.
Can't,
Yeah.
can't actually see the black moon.
I mean, yes and no. It's hard to, but there's devices that allow it. But it's definitely difficult to see the black moon.
Hugh practices a new technique where he puts his hand in the fire and then is able to channel it into his sword just for a second.
Okay.
And in doing so burns all his spell slots.
Okay. With that, just take a note. Because as night falls and you each find yourself resting, our session does come to a close here tonight. So, thank you to our players for playing. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Join us next week as we have our Kingfisher Festival starting off. I do want to say thank you to Sirenscape, who provides all of our background music and ambiance, all of our background sounds, and of course, the sad trombone played during dramatically appropriate times. You can find out more about Sirenscape by heading to their website, sirenscape.com, and seeing what they can do for you and your table. While you're on the internet, please head over to wildwitch.com. That's WILDEWITCH.com. That is the official website for Wildwitch RP. It's got all the things you need to know about us, all the ways you can find us online, and all the fun things that we've got in store. But until the next stream, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.